right, here we go. So. All right, welcome. Thanks for coming tonight. Ms. Boykins, invocation, please.
Abraham Lincoln once said, whatever you are, be a good one. And I push that message today because I think that's something that we need to push to our youth. No matter what, whatever they want to be, whatever they want to do, whatever they define their success is, we want to push that. So I just ask that we tell that quote to someone or some child to make their mind look further and not stay at the moment. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Ms. Boykins. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
I can tell. I can tell. All right, Mr. Cox. We heard you.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Burrell,
Here.
Ms. Boykins,
President.
Ms. Richardson,
Here.
Mr. Wright,
Here.
Ms. Fitty,
Here.
Mr. Reardon,
Here.
Ms. Hummel,
Here.
Mr. Cave,
I'm here.
Ms. Hoff,
Present.
and Ms. Mikola. We have 9 board members present and 1 student representative.
Great, thank you.
Ms. Williams is absent.
Can you drive?
Oh.
I'm gonna do a quick presentation, and after that, and I forgot to remind school board directors, Penwood Foundation will be making a small presentation after myself. Yeah, just push that. Push it again. Just hold it.
Move back, Mark. You move back.
Push and hold.
Oh.
There we go. All right, school board celebrations, October 2015. Next. This was a very, very busy and exciting month. We had driving. We had football, we had cheerleading, we had band, we had soccer and volleyball and track too. And I leave back there the boys soccer team, which I didn't take any pictures at. And they are in a playoff game tomorrow at Owen J. Roberts, I believe. We had a pep rally for all the kids on Friday, and there you see Mr. Lincoln doing his best cheer with the ladies. The video is out there. I would watch it and laugh.
He's the head football coach.
Yep. And we host our alumni. Thanks to Ms. Boykins and Mr. Cave, we made a super concerted effort to welcome our alumni back, and it was very successful. So thank you, Mo and Rafi. They started a garden at elementary Ardmore. It was a fall garden, so that's a good time. Next. And we watched movies at Evans Elementary School together as a community. We also began the second year of an awesome partnership and authentic work experience with Mrs. Blackman's statistics class and Click. With help from Jamila Sams, our proud Penwood alumni. It was amazing. We also have visitors, Lansdowne Alden High School class of 1965 and Yaden High School class of 1960 came and toured their buildings. They were very excited to be here. And congratulations to our students of the month, Xavier Tomer and Marissa Sousay, were the first students recognized by the Lansdowne Upper Darby Rotary Club this month. College Fair Wednesday, October 28th, that is 2 days from now. Please go. It is open to all citizens of the William Penn School District. It is not to be missed. It's pretty special. And that's it. So make sure you're checking us out on Facebook using the hashtags WeArePenwood and We Are All Patriots. If you need me, there's my phone number and email. Together, we will make this district great. Apart, we will not. So let's join together. I have to say that homecoming was fabulous. It was a gorgeous day. We won.
Yeah.
It was sunny. There were lots of alumni. The stands were packed. The band was playing. The cheerleaders were cheering. It was fabulous. So thanks to all the staff and students that made that happen. Darren, thanks for driving. Marie Louise, Kenwood Foundation.
Where do you want me?
You're fine right there.
Okay, cool. Hi, my name is Marie Louise Faber. I'm a parent with a child in first grade at Ardmore Avenue, and I'm also a member of the Kenwood Foundation Board. Since its inception in 1995, the foundation has recognized teachers and supported them with giving them opportunities to supplement their programs and enhance the classroom to give students what they need and promote their educational achievement. The foundation has supplied materials for lots of different programs, such as Arts Goes to School, Conservation and Environmental Studies in the high school. They brought in a magician to help the learning support students learn new tricks with their math needs. This year, the foundation is focused on a new program called Kindles in the Classroom. We're excited to say that through the support of dress down days, through United Way donations and donations from individual teachers, we were able to grant 30 new Kindles to 12 teachers through this grant program. The Kindles are being used throughout the district in the elementary, middle, and high school classrooms, supporting all matters of subject, math, reading, science, English learning, language learners, and support learners as well. So there's, like I said, there's 12 recipients from the program. Let's see, so we have Kimberly Blagman. She is at the Green Avenue campus, and her program is Math Stars. This program will allow students to create videos of the math concepts that they're learning to help teach to their classmates both now and into the future, and hopefully create a virtual library. Judy Jordan teaches music at the middle school. Her program is called Music Uniting the STEM in the Classroom. So if you're familiar with STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, connecting that bridge with arts and allowing students to, through the program, to express what they're learning in the classroom through the program. Amanda Ryder is at the Cypress campus, Penwood High School. Her program is called Spanish Enrichment and Games. So she is looking to use the Kindles to give the students access to Spanish books and giving them a little bit more engagement instead of just paper copies. It will also allow students to have access to games in the Spanish language as well, and just enriching the learning process. Mary McNanus is also at the Cypress campus. Her program is called In the Language We Understand. So she is teaching English language learners and looking to give them hands-on resources such as translation and definitions right as they're reading their materials. The apps will also give students access to things like phonics that are not directly taught in the classroom. Alice Thomas is a first grade teacher at Ardmore Avenue Elementary School. Her program is called Kindles in First Grade, and she's looking to give students access to books at their individual reading levels. So there's a lot more books accessible through the device than are in the school. She's also looking to use different programs such as United for Literacy and We Give Books. These are all big virtual libraries that the students can access, as well as text-to-speech, so the students can hear what they're reading in front of them. Diane O'Donnell is at Bell Avenue Elementary School, and her program is called Kindle for learning support students. So again, these are kids that need a little bit extra, or maybe just a different way of teaching. So the devices give extra support in not just reading text, but also touch, listening, seeing, and just learning in more engaging ways than traditional books offer. The devices also allow the kids to have access to games and videos to inspire further learning. Andrea Fink is at East Lansdowne Elementary School. Her program is called Kindergarten Has a Lot to Say, Narrative Blog Writing. Her program will use the Kid Blog program and give kids a chance to blog about what they are doing that week in the classroom. So that gives them a chance to practice their writing skills, and that will also be shared with parents and the community now and the future. Shannon Graham is at Walnut Street Elementary School. Her program is called Kinder Kindles. She's looking to give students access to different levels of learning needs through websites, games, different apps that are available, just to reinforce what is being taught in the classroom. Erin O'Brien is at Park Lane Elementary School, and she is looking to use her Kindles in her learning support classroom, again, to not only help kids read better, but also to develop that love of reading that will last a lifetime. Tracy Jocelyn is at Colwyn Elementary School. Her program is called Reaching All Learners. And this is a program she developed to give more meaningful enrichment and support to the students in her classroom. Kevin Riley is a teacher at Colwyn Elementary School. His program is called Tools for Success Math Fluency Facts. He's using the Kindles to allow students to access math apps that will help with their fluency in math facts that are taught in the classroom, so just to enhance what they've already learned. And the last one, but not least, is Warren Dinanza. He is at Penwood Middle School, and his program is called Kindle Fluency. He's looking to work with struggling readers to give them access to text-to-speech technology, again, to hear what they are reading in front of them. It helps them give access to pronunciation as well of the words, the rhythm of the text, how it's flowing, and again, just to develop that love of reading, as well as the actual reading the words themselves. The foundation would love to fund more Kindles in the classrooms as well as other projects, and we can do this again as we work together, both parents, community, teachers. Unfortunately, this all costs us something. The foundation does have a website. It is www.penwoodfoundation.org, and there's a really easy way to contribute right off the website if you have means to do so. It's also tax deductible, which is really nice. We do have a few teachers here that we'd like to acknowledge for taking the time to submit the grant. I know there's not much extra time in their days, but they did so to be able to enrich the curriculum for their students. So I applaud them and wish them the best of luck. If you guys want to stand and be recognized.
Stand, teachers, stand.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All support to Penwood Foundation is welcomed. The group is enjoying a revitalization. If you're interested in the group, we meet Tuesday, November 10th. Again, we're finishing out a strategic plan, and it's looking really bright. So, very excited. I appreciate the support of Brenda McPherson Fry over the years and everyone else that attends meetings. So it's good stuff. The United Way number is what? It's right back there on the flyer.
08944.
08944, if you wanna give United Way. Anybody can just designate the William Penn School District Foundation, 08944.
What's the time and place of that meeting?
Here, 6:30. Great, thank you guys very much. All right, Mr. Bruni, your turn.
Thank you. We've covered a lot of ground here. I'm my usual excited self about William Penn School District. We have fantastic staff members, absolutely amazing students, and our parents are stepping up to meet the challenges presented to them. We've got great people working here in all departments, and it's just a pleasure to be able to share my time with them and get feedback from them. We have outstanding community members. This is a shout out to Brenda McPherson Fry. Put your hand up there, Brenda.
She's like,
Brenda
please,
was
no.
our last chair for the Penwood Foundation and really worked hard to make that work, and it's very appreciated, certainly. And Judy Belosky is sitting next to her. She's going to be the next president of the Penwood Foundation. She is a community member, and she's volunteering her time to move us forward with this, and it's very appreciated, ladies, what you've done with that. So, thanks to you. Another shout out to Monique Boykins and to Rafi Cave. I want to say thank you. That alumni event that you folks scheduled for the weekend at homecoming was amazing. So every little bit helps. The big event is coming up Wednesday, and it's the college fair. It's very important. If you really want to see how engaged our students are and how excited they are about the possibility of going to college, attend that event. It's really amazing how many kids come to that, excited and interested and questioning every vendor that's there. Judy, how many vendors are we having? Do you know the number of vendors coming to the college fair?
At least 100. I mean, based on the number last year, it was packed.
Okay, so we have a lot of colleges and universities and trade schools represented there, and it's a great event. But Mr. Wright, our education chairperson, and I will be attending Delaware County Community College appreciation dinner that night, and we can't make the college fair event. And are you coming too?
No, I'll be at the college
Oh,
fair.
you'll be at the college fair. So we're covered there, but we'll be at the Delaware County Community College event, so we will not be able to attend. And both of us like to be over there, so there are just so many things scheduled, you can't seem to get to everything. And the donations to the foundation, it's something that's easy to do, especially through the United Way. You can donate directly through the United Way for contributions to the Penwood Foundation. And if you can do that, any amount of money would be appreciated, because they certainly have tried to offer students and teachers extra resources to have programs that we normally would not be able to do, and those funds are very important to moving our educational pursuits forward. So it's a great cause. Tuesday, November 3rd, Election Day, is coming up. There's a lot riding on this election, especially with Supreme Court judges and people who are going to be in charge of decisions that will affect the students in all of our schools. So do your research, find out who these folks are, and cast your best vote that you can, and thinking along the lines, if you can, about what effect these folks will have on education policy in the Commonwealth. You know, Pennsylvania and Indiana, I think, are the only two states left in this country that do not have a budget passed for this year. They're still grappling. Our elected officials can't seem to get it together as to how to sort out the funds that they're going to have to the schools. And this is a major problem, because several proposals have been made. You have a governor and elected officials who are at odds with each other on philosophy and ideology and what should be going off to education specifically. So certain people have asked the governor to make some payments to the schools without having a total budget. He's standing firm, he doesn't want to do that, he wants to have a bigger picture moving forward, sustainability, and having a budget in place, so there's the conflict. 8 congressmen have written a letter to the governor saying to him that it's his responsibility to provide funds, no matter how they go out, to provide a thorough and efficient education in Pennsylvania as mandated by the Constitution of this state. Our lawsuit, when we were in court, the Pennsylvania Department of Education lawyers stood up in court and, quote, said, the only thorough and efficient education they have to provide to our students in this Commonwealth is that we open the schoolhouse doors and turn on the lights. That was their response. So on one hand, now all of a sudden, we're not providing a thorough and efficient education. People all need to get on the same page, and they all need to support each other, and they need to leave their differences outside of the door when they talk about the effect of budgeting and funding formulas and everything else and how it affects the school districts and the children of this state. So every day, it's something new that you hear. Finally, love this article, the president of this country and Arnie Duncan, Secretary of Education, have decided finally that there's too much standardized testing going on in the schools of this country. They've had a huge effect in how this testing program has ended up the way it has. Now everybody's backpedaling. It's a little late, but it's never too late to make progress. So I hope that this has an effect on what we're doing to our children and to the quality of our education programs in the country. And it's amazing to me that finally the light is starting to go off. But we're in a dilemma. We're having a hard time financing our schools. We're operating on shoestrings right now. We're looking, as I talk to Mr. Cuff every day, we have till December, and then we're going to have to take some drastic measures if the state budget isn't passed. And if you stay for the meeting tonight, you'll hear some of those plans and what's been proposed. So don't sit back and do nothing. Whatever you can do with your elected officials and conversations and calling them and saying, look, enough is enough. It's time to move forward. And you're just not your job. So that would be helpful. So I appreciate your attention to that. We're getting desperate. Mary Ann Applegate is here tonight. She was an employee in the district now. She's volunteering her time at one of our local Catholic schools. And she's been doing research, and she's getting things. She's writing letters and getting interesting responses. So you can affect things that happen. So don't be afraid to do that. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Bernie.
A little long-winded, but I just had to get it out.
Yeah, like one more, so you take as much time as you need. All right, motion to approve the agenda, and I want to note that there is an E4 that was made available at the front desk.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? All right. Motion to approve the minutes of the business meeting on September 28th, 2015.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any corrections? Sorry. Okay. Anyone against? There you go. Dear student representative, do you have anything to share with us this evening?
Yes. Emma couldn't make it today because she's out of state, but there was some concern about the grading system because people are asking why it's instead of 90%, we've got 93 as an A.
Right.
So
92.
yes. So she is in the process of talking to Ms. Blaine
Okay.
about it, trying to figure out the reason.
Great.
And then down at Cypress, there's some concerns about the food, but I was advised to talk to Ms. Blanca about that.
Okay.
So I will get on that. And in the cafeteria, there are some benches where students sit for lunch, There are some new ones, I think, or let's say upgraded ones
Right.
compared to some other in the cafeteria.
Right.
And the situation is that if a stool falls off, or when the stool falls off, there is this pole that connects the stool to the table, and it sticks out. So it's kind of sharp and it's not smooth. So it's a complication of if a student is carrying their plate or tray of food and they're trying to get to a seat, if they do not watch where they're going carefully, they could get cut because it's shin level.
Okay.
So you're kind of blindsided by it.
Okay. And is this at Cypress or Green?
Cypress.
Okay.
And there are like maybe five benches with that situation, 5 desk, table benches.
Okay.
And that's it.
Great, thank you so much. Ms. Harbert is right there, and she can talk to you about the 92.
Yes, I will definitely talk to you.
Danielle is right back there, raise your hand, Danielle. And she will talk to you about the food. And who would handle the, Brian right back there, raise your hand. He will talk to you about the chairs, okay?
And also, Dr. Bruno is here. Put your
Right.
hand up, Dr. Bruno. He's done some research on those grades and why they are what they are. I looked at this, I don't want you to think that this is just sitting there with no one paying attention to that. This issue came up, it has a long history, it goes back many years. We've looked at why the grade designations are what they are, and we have those answers for you. So Dr. Bruno can provide you with that information, which is of great interest, I find, because we've questioned that before, just to say.
And if you want them to come over and talk to folks, they're happy to do so,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
Awesome,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Any special awards tonight? No? There we go. Public comments regarding agenda items. So if it's in here, you can discuss it right now. Yes? Stand up, where you're from.
Hi, my name is Amy LaCourte. I'm from Lansdowne. And I just wanted to talk about page 23, item E. I did not know about E4, which makes this even more important. On item motion E3, I
Yes.
guess. I really would ask the school board to, if you've got to vote on an option, to vote on option C. We really need to take care of our students here in the public school. We're gonna run out of money, there's no decision. We really can't afford to be paying for other schools. And that's it, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Anything on the yellow pieces of paper? Going once, going twice, moving on, thank you, folks. Any communications, Mr. Cup?
There are no communications.
Great. Committee reports, Ms. Boykins, community relations, please?
American Education Week. American Education Week is co-sponsored by the National Education Association, National Parent Teacher Association, and the National School Public Relations Association as a time to support and raise awareness about public schools. The 94th annual observance of American Education Week is November 16th through the 20th, 2015. NEA's theme for this year's AEW observance is Great Public Schools, a basic right and our responsibility, and reflects the NEA's calling upon America to provide students with the quality public schools so that they can grow, prosper, and achieve in the 21st century. American Education Week is a time for saluting our public schools and the relationships between all school employees, students, parents, and communities. NEA's pledge to support public schools can be found on its website at www.nea.org. And if you read further, you can see the American Education Week proclamation. A2, William Penn School District to host annual Toys for Tots Drive. The William Penn School District is hosting its 9th annual Toys for Tots Holiday Drive. Toys will be available for infants and children up to age 12 years who reside in the 6 boroughs of the William Penn School District. Registration will be taken by the guidance counselors and social workers at the schools. A child must receive free or reduced price lunch or have a medical access card. Parents or guardians must bring proof of medical access card and a child social security card to register. Parents who wish to receive toys for their children must register at one of the following locations on the following dates. The locations and everything are listed. Toy pickup will be held on Monday, December 21st, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Tuesday, December 22nd, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the William Penn School District Administration Building. You can contact Nicole Hillman, and there's her information down there. I'll just ask if people do take advantage of that. There's a lot of children out that sometimes have no, Christmases, and sometimes people don't know things that are going on. So if you can share this information, rec centers, churches, people with churches in our district and things like that, just to let them know we have something like this going on. A3, Lansdowne Upper Darby Rotary Club, October Student of the Month Awards. Jen spoke about that earlier. It's for Marissa Sousay and Xavier Tumor. Just a little bit about Marissa Sousay. She's a member of the Penwood High School National Honor Society, Senior Class Committee, Student Council, and High Q team. She is the leader and organizer of the Christian Club, a member of Mu Alpha Theta, a Math Honor Society, and serves on the yearbook committee. And you can read a little bit more on her. And then you have, yeah, she also was one of our former student board members, yes. Xavier Tumor is a member of the Penwood High School National Honor Society, National Art Honor Society, serves on the Student Council, is president of the National Math Honor Society, and is running for vice president of the National Honor Society. He has been a member of the Distinguished Honor Roll and since 7th grade, and has a rigorous academic schedule that includes advanced placement courses in calculus, psychology, English literature, and composition, as well as dual enrollment program courses at Delaware County Community College. A4, Penwood High School presents Dirty Laundry. The new Penwood High School players, under the direction of advisor Ms. Joy Schwartz, will present Dirty Laundry, a musical comedy for the entire family. Performances will be held at Penwood High School, Green Avenue campus on Friday, November 20th at 7:30 p.m. and Saturday, November 21st at 2:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. A talented cast of high school students will deliver the story about airing a family's dirty laundry. Kenny Rudolph Alexander, Penford Inkman, discovers for his family's laundry basket factory, KRAPI Baskets, is in trouble. Meanwhile, competitor Harriet Hampton of Hampton's Hampers is doing all she can to put KRAPI's baskets out of business. In the midst of this, Kenny meets and falls in love with a woman who happens to be Heather Hampton's daughter. The musical turns an ordinary everyday item, laundry baskets, into a hilarious and entertaining musical performance. General admission is $5, parking is free, and refreshments will be sold at intermission. And the information to buy tickets is posted down there. Thank you.
Any comments from the school board directors? Oh, I'm sorry, second?
Second. Second.
Any questions from the Board of School Directors? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Great. Check out that play, it's gonna be funny. Even though reading it was fun, it's gonna be fun. All right, education, Mr. Wright, please.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that.
B1, homebound instruction. B2, Bell Avenue Elementary School 5th grade student trip to Hertz Snack Factory. And B3, summary of the recent education committee meeting, which was held October the 1st. What we discussed was the PSSA test, which the community said hopefully we'll come up with a system that maybe abolish such testing. We talked about the SAT test and also the ACT Keystone exam, which we can also agree that hopefully that would be abolished as well, and not reflect on someone graduation certificate, and the value and the Pennsylvania added report. And we talked about the new rules in dealing with the NCAA clearinghouse rules, which is for our student athlete, which was raised from 2.0 to 2.3. Some of us agree that maybe we would like for our students, maybe be on 2.5 or higher.
Great.
And we will also will have an education meeting on special education November the 5th at 6:30 p.m. here in this room. And that will conclude the education report.
Great. May I have a second, please? Any questions from the school board directors? Hearing none? Do you have a question?
No, I'm just writing down all these meetings, the 3rd, the 5th, the 10th.
Yep. That's what we get paid the big bucks for.
I remember when we went down to one meeting a month, that we were gonna make the suggestion, each chair who holds what committee would meet them one night to air their concerns or give us their input in regards to that thing, rather than have like now the 3rd, or the 5th, or the 10th, the 17th. I think there was one more, but I don't know if I got it or not.
Yeah, it doesn't,
The regular meeting, I got that.
yeah, property is on November 9th.
Okay, so we have November 9th now?
Right, but, it hasn't worked that way. The meetings are a little bit too long, to do that, but we can, try to do that, but there's some extenuating circumstances, but it's busy. Okay, it's okay. So for education, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? All right, fabulous. Ms. Humble, personnel, please?
Yes, resignations, appointments, and there's a number of appointments. And I call your attention, starting on page 11 and going on for several pages, something called supplemental contracts. These are individual contracts that are awarded to applicants who apply to do certain extracurricular activities for the students. This is part of their contract, and you can see everything from putting on an art show to Olympiad advisor to the head teacher of a particular school or a certain department, yearbook advisors, band directors. Basically, this represents the sum total, at least for the fall, and much of it into the spring, of all the extra work that we're contracting out to our teachers and others to support the academic work that goes on in our schools. This is the stuff, I hate to say it this way, but that the kids really like. This is the fun stuff after school, the clubs and the sports and the meetings and the music and the art. And it's a wonderful thing that we have so many of our teachers who, and you can see the amounts of money we pay them are small for the work they're doing, that they're dedicated to bringing these other subjects to life after school. C3 is salary track changes, which reflect people's earned credits toward higher degrees. That's part of the contract as well. Tenure awards is what's earned after qualifying for tenure after completion of 3 satisfactory years of employment under a temporary professional contract. And so those folks, congratulations on your tenure awards. C5, leaves of absence for various and sundry reasons having to do with usually family and medical leave. Sabbatical leave of absence, C6, and C7, changes of assignment. Before I move the agenda, I also want to announce that there will be a personnel committee meeting, public meeting on Tuesday, November 17th here at 6 o'clock. The other members of the committee are Ms. Fiddy and Mr. Wright, but all board members, members of the community, staff, everyone is invited to come. Again, that's Tuesday, November 17th here at 6 p.m., and we will be discussing upcoming contracts, just in general. So that is my report, and I move that agenda.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Any questions from the board and school board directors? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Thank you. Property committee, that was smooth. D1, transportation, private contracts. D2 is change order number 1 on partial roof replacement and masonry restoration at Penwood High School Green Avenue campus. And D3 is a summary of everything we talked about at our last property committee meeting, and our next property committee meeting will be November 9th. May I have someone to move that for me, please?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Any questions from the Board of School Board Directors? Yes, ma'am?
D2, change orders.
Yes.
How much was the amount prior?
Jeff, help me out here.
There wasn't necessarily an amount, this is work we had to do to explore when they actually examined the area to see if there was any structural damage
At the high school, yes.
at the high school. So this was the exploratory work that we're correcting and fixing, so it wasn't necessarily a initial amount there.
Oh, I thought they already did the exploratory work and found
No,
what
no, we had to go back in and do additional work, so this is what this repairing the hole.
Let me give
Is
it
the
a
hole as big as the rock that we had?
No.
No, but the holes are pretty big. Wait, but can I back up for a
Sure.
second? So just to, because that sort of confused me.
Like the rock? It
No,
confused me.
no, so the holes were made to do exploratory work. Based on that, what they found, we delayed that roof work. We're left with is huge gaps, holes in the roof that we need to cover until they come back and do the roof work. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Sorry. Next question. Okay.
I just thought he did that work prior before they got
No,
this one.
no.
Okay, on D3,
Yes,
the Cypress Floor Gym,
yes.
how are we doing on that?
Good. I got fabulous pictures from Mr. Smelter of them tearing it up. And I'm assuming that, what's the time frame on that floor being put down?
Be mid-November.
Okay, mid-November.
Okay, and bear with me, Curfew,
Yes.
Howie?
We are having conversations as a subcommittee about Kerr Field. We don't have the next meeting scheduled, but we are just having conversations.
Okay, I also see a trimming of trees.
Yes, the board was presented at the property committee meeting with a list of tree work that needs to be done. It's yet to be priced. I'm sorry?
Okay, I would like to add East Landon on there.
It's already,
I talked to Brian earlier tonight, we have a situation on our hands, it's not on the agenda, but we talked prior to the little building that's on the top lot of East Lansdowne.
okay,
It is our building,
okay,
which there was an argument for it, it wasn't our building, it was East Lansdowne, now it's our building.
okay,
The borough has expressed concern that they wanna redo the building. They wanna redo it, but both the school and the borough have use to the building.
okay, can we talk about that on November 9th?
Are you not gonna pick another day to have another meeting?
No, November 9th is the day
I'm
that I have scheduled.
I'm sorry, okay. Alright. And in West Nile, West Nile. I thought I'm in Borough Council meeting there. The Nile Swim Club,
Yes,
how are we doing on that?
as, so they're gonna come to us?
Again?
Yes,
Is that another date?
no, there's no date set, Ms. Fitting.
They just had a big fair.
Yes,
And my question is, if they're claiming bankruptcy and they're having these fairs, where's the money going if they're, you know what I'm saying?
right.
You follow me, Jeff? I mean, if I was bankrupt, my house would take it away from me.
Okay. Excuse me.
I know, are you want me to button up?
No,
But there's
no, I
no-
was asking.
Well, I was just looking at David.
Right, so, anyway,
It is possible that they wouldn't report it, I guess, but there's a trustee appointed because they're in bankruptcy. So all of that money, if everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, will get reported to the trustee and accounted for whatever, debts they currently have in bankruptcy.
Because I know several months ago I gave you a list of bills for people back in taxes, and I gave you the figure for Nile Swim Club. Now, I helped 37 people last year with delinquent taxes. This year's 55 people. Okay, I'm gonna bring it to the public's notice that they used to hold court every Monday or Thursday. Now it's every day until they get caught up, because the county don't want your ass. They wanna help you, okay? So I had a meeting with Jack Dale on Friday, but I'm curious to know how the Nile Swim Club is still operating when they have no money.
there,
The trustee determines what they can and cannot do. I mean, believe me, bankruptcy is federal court. There's a
I know.
federally appointed trustee, so it's possible they're doing something they're not supposed to, but chances are it's being approved by the court.
Okay, thank you.
okay, anyone else?
Me?
Yes, sir.
What are they coming to see us about?
Probably their back taxes.
Because,
How many times have they come to see us about back taxes? And haven't done a thing.
Okay,
So just keep that in mind.
yes, I agree. Anything else? All right, all those in favor?
Aye?
Anyone against? There we go. Budget and Finance, Mr. Cave.
Hi, everybody. E1 is the treasurer's report. E2 is the list of bills. E3, I'm going to actually read it out so we can be very clear. Representatives from the Vision Academy Charter School have petitioned the Department of Education for payment of September and October tuition in the amount of $227,000, $227,526.13. These funds will be paid to the charter school through the William Penn School District subsidy deduction. Due to the current budget impasse, representatives from the Vision Academy Charter School are fearful that the state will not release these funds. Representatives from the Vision Academy Charter School have requested that the William Penn School District directly pay the charter school $155,000 or a minimum of $90,000 to cover their payrolls and operations for the next few weeks. I am going to move and recommend we go with option C, which is, and I'll read it out, due to the current state budget impasse and due to the fact that the William Penn School District will not receive any additional state funding until a budget is approved, the request for direct payment to the Vision Academy Charter School is denied. E4 is the tax and revenue anticipation note. In the event the current Commonwealth of Pennsylvania budget impasse continues, and in order to provide the necessary funding for the full operation of the school district during the 2015-2016 school year, the administration seeks authorization to proceed with issuance of a tax and revenue anticipation note. And our motion is for the Board of School Directors of the William Penn School District does hereby authorize the administration to work with Public Financial Management as, also known as PFM, as financial advisor, Eckert, Siemens, Charon, and Mello, LLC, as bond counsel, and their local solicitor for the purpose of issuing a tax and revenue anticipation note via a competitive request for funds proposal process.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Any questions from the Board of School Directors?
I would recommend that, Rafi show option A and option B so the folks know exactly
Sure.
what we are or are not voting.
Absolutely. Option A reads, due to the current state budget impasse, authorization will be given to the administration to directly pay to Vision Academy Charter School $155,000 to cover their payrolls and operations for the next few weeks. So that's the requested amount. Option B is a Plan B. Due to the current state budget impasse, authorization is given to the administration to directly pay to Vision Academy Charter School $90,000 to cover their payrolls and operations for the next few weeks.
Any other questions from the Board of School Directors?
We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're asking us for money because we don't have the money.
Right.
Okay, and this really disturbs me because how are you supposed to fund our school? We had to pass the budget June 30th by law. Up at the House and Senate, they're still working at the budget.
They must have different
Give me a
ones.
break, you know, they should have to pass it by June 30th. We're not getting any money for Title I, Race to the Top, or what have you. And yet a charter school comes in, takes some of our children that we educate, take our money, or want money, when we're not getting money. I just find this ludicrous. That's my opinion. I just really strongly believe we have very good educators here. And it's the parents decision, whatever they wanna do. How dare you bring this to the board, they want us to give the money when we need money ourselves. And I'm really appalled at this, so are we gonna take a separate vote on this?
The motion right now is E3C, so it's not, you don't even have to do it separately. Mr. Cave has moved E3C.
Well, shouldn't someone second it?
You did,
It hasn't
you
been.
did.
You didn't?
We're gonna call it as soon as you're done with your.
I was just getting so, I'm getting hot and then I'm cold in here, and this is really,
Got it.
it's a personal, you know?
I got it.
Are you
I hear
requesting
you.
that we separate the vote, or are you, I mean, are you requesting that we separate the motions, or?
No, I'm gonna go with what you said, number 6.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions from the Board of School Directors? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? There you go. Thank you very much. Ms. Richardson, Policy Committee agenda, please.
Policy
Put them all
Committee,
together. Yeah.
this is for the second reading of revised policy 916, and it's all about school volunteers, and it tells you what is required and whether they're single event volunteers, short-term volunteers, or long-term volunteers, and what are the guidelines for these volunteers. And the disclosure statement, which they signed, saying that about the criminal, if they have no criminal background, so forth and so on. Dr. Bruno, would you want to elaborate on that?
This policy was brought into consideration because of the recent changes in the law requiring such clearances. We were fortunate that our former policy was almost compliant. The only thing that really changed was on page 2 of 3, in the second paragraph, where it says that the clearances will be on file in the Human Resources Office, where prior to this, they were on file in the individual schools. In addition to that, we have added the administrative regulation to the end of the policy, which is actually guidance on executing this policy that was adopted by the Pennsylvania Department of Education, and also the disclosure statement that PDE has recommended to be used for volunteers. So this brings us fully compliant with the law as it stands now.
Thank you. Thank you. So this is a motion to approve this second reading and adoption of the William Penn School District revised policy 916, and to enter into such reading into the minutes.
Thank you. Second. Any comments from the Board of School Directors? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? There you go. Thank you all. Solicitors report.
Thank you. Several items. First, there was an executive session between the pre-meeting and a business meeting this evening. In that executive session, we discussed 2 separate personnel matters. We discussed a matter concerning real property, and we discussed a matter involving litigation around charter school payments. In addition, I'm going to ask for 2 motions from the board. I'll start with motion number 1. That is, I would like someone from the board to move that I have authority to file an appeal regarding the charter school payments which are currently being withheld by PDE, directly with PDE.
Second.
Any questions from the Board of School Board Directors? Call it?
Yep.
Call? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Thank you. Next.
And the second motion I would ask is a motion to direct the administration not to make any additional charter school payments to any charter school until such time as state funding is dispersed to William Penn School District after a final budget is approved.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions from the Board of School Board Directors? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Solicitor?
Thank you, that concludes my report.
Great. Mr. Cuff, any old business?
There is no old business.
Mr. Cuff, any new business?
There's no new business.
Sir?
That's okay. That's all right. I have old business that I omitted last month. The Yaden NAACP, we had our Freedom Fund luncheon. And our Freedom Fund luncheon we awarded $250 scholarships to two former Kenwood graduates to Delaware County Community College. And they were Thomas Moore and Brandon Surton.
Very good. Thank you. Anything else?
New business?
New business?
Since we've been talking about the state and our legislators and the governor and the impasse, many of you know that I have been a staunch supporter of historically black colleges and universities. And one of the oldest historic black college universities, Cheney University, was founded in 1837. And hopefully we can really move through the debate whether Lincoln University was the first HBCU school. I think that's finally cleared up. But Cheney University is the first HBCU schools in the country. And one of the problems that we are experiencing, which has been well documented in the last few weeks, that Cheney University is in danger of closing if the funding is not provided by the state. So not only have a problem with the state not funding public education, but the state is not adequately funding state-supported schools. And this has been ongoing with Cheney University for the last 10 years. So we're planning a demonstration November the 10th at the state to request that the university, that the legislator give additional funding that Cheney University will continue to exist.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. It should also be noted that any of our college students that qualified for Pennsylvania state grants have not received their grants also. Right, so that bill's in the mail too. Yeah. Okay, reports. Mr. Wright, Delaware County Community College.
Well, as Mr. Brody said earlier, we were having our school board appreciation dinner that would take place this Wednesday at 6 p.m. And also added that there have been 2 open houses with other university partnership with Delaware County Community College at the main campus and also in Chester County. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Mr. Reardon, Delaware County Intermediate
Well,
Unit.
the intermediate unit appointed Dr. Maria Edelberg as the new youth director, and still ongoing out west.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I believe that the choice of Maria is an excellent choice, and she was elected appointed in that.
Great, thank you very much, Mr. Reardon. Mr. Cave, Delaware County Legislative Council, nothing going on there, right?
Actually, we met.
It was a joke.
We met at the IU last week, and embarrassingly enough, we're still talking about funding. On October 6th, our Auditor General Eugene D. Pasquale published his report, which was it covered July 2010 through August 2015. It was an 89-page audit report that cited that the Pennsylvania Department of Education overlooked 561 academically challenged schools throughout the state. The 4 major highlights are that PDE failed to provide additional assistance to poor performing schools, that the Board of Education failed to update the master plan for basic education all the way back since 1999.
To what level of incumbency can you aspire?
Think of what fashions you were wearing in 1999.
And these are the people who are telling us how to do our job at the local level. I love these guys.
PDE also failed to monitor special advisors and assistants. I will add very highly paid special advisors and assistants. And that PDE relied on retired employees to fill critical positions and violated the state employees retirement code. In a quote, Auditor General said that the Pennsylvania Department of Education is failing our students and the taxpayers by essentially overlooking 561 academically challenged schools. He added, "It is astonishing to me that so many schools, which I believe 4 of them were in our district, with more than 310,000 students, may not be receiving the extra support they need to help their students succeed academically." If PDE continues to overlook these institutions and the students they serve, more and more children will struggle scholastically further down the road. I left a few copies of the highlighted report on the back, and if you want to read all 89 pages, it's online. It's actually very good reading, to be honest with you. Let's see. State Representative James Roebuck issued his charter school report, and it's literally everything you want to know about charter regulation, finance, and oversight. It's actually very interesting. It's the third edition. I haven't read editions 1 and 2, to be honest, but if you get a second to read it or want me to email it to you, it's very, very interesting. It will, I mean, with charter schools in so high in the news, I think it would really benefit just to take a look and get a little greater understanding of the oversight or lack thereof of the Pennsylvania charter school system. And I'll save my opinion, the rest of my opinion on that. Our class action lawsuit has been filed in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, and just like Mr. Bruni said, on Tuesday, November 3rd, there are several Supreme Court candidates up for judges, and I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. However, definitely do the due diligence because they will be handling our case. So just don't vote blindly, please. I mean, and I don't know if anybody got a chance to read the Delaware Times today. I submitted an opinion piece that likened this case, the case for equal educational opportunity, as any civil rights case in our history. Voting rights, gay rights, education rights is withholding the ability for fair education is a civil rights issue. And I don't think we can be passive on this anymore. I don't believe that our General Assembly can be passive on it anymore. You have to, right now, choose a side. You're either against these students' rights or for it. And I think we can't go into this court case kind of as lightly as we did in the Commonwealth Court. I think I really think the numbers need to be presented with the dollars that get to each student. That's a compared number. It's not a money grab anymore. We have to look at the dollars that get to each student in the zip codes in which they live. And we cannot, it's just a civil rights violation for us to fund education this way. And I will keep you posted on more.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Thank you.
Comments from citizens regarding non-agenda items. Yes, Ms. Applegate.
Hi.
Hello.
Applegate. That's on everyone. This is what may seem in $1 million budget a really rather minor issue, but I feel it's an issue of fairness. I'm volunteering at BVM, as Joe knows, and which is what I always wanted to do when I retired. The nurses are assigned there by the school district. They were informed that they were not going to get their supplies. It's 3 schools. It's Friends, BVM, and St. Cyril's. It's about $500 to $600 for the 3 schools. They were not informed in the summer, when the budget went into effect. They were informed by their nurses who fought to try to get that funding. It's a minimal amount of money. I don't think that this board was aware of that was cut. It has always been provided in the past. It's not a lot of money. And in the long run, there used to be this old thing back years ago with vouchers, and you all remember the big signs, how much these schools save the taxpayer. This amount of money is 1/3 of what my personal school taxes are. And we are educating children of people who pay school taxes. To ask to take $200 for each school. And for nursing supplies, they use our emergency cards that all of our children fill out. And on there it says, can give medication. Well, they don't have it to give me. And in each of those buildings, of course, the secretary, it falls to the secretary, Ro's been there 30 years and she's phenomenal. But they had told me about it. I said I would come. I said, I even suggested to sister. The sister said, sister has now gotten the diocese involved, which I don't think she should have to do. You know, as somebody that's lived in this community a long, long time, whose children went to elementary school there and then went to our high school, I'm still collecting those taxes for this school district. I'm asking that the board would consent to order those supplies just for those 3 schools at such a minimal cost. I know there's enough money that's coming on taxes just to cover that alone. And in fact, Rafi, your nephews attend BDM.
One of them does,
I've been in their classroom, Dom's a cutie. I mean, it's such a minimal amount of money, and they're really, I don't know any reason why you would just not provide it. It makes no sense. They're our kids too. And in the long run, you know, they're saving whatever it costs to educate a student.
Can anybody give me some background on this, please? Yes, Dr. Berger?
Due to the state budget impasse, we have not received any money from the state, as we've talked about all night. We've looked for ways to sort of conserve what money we have until a budget is passed. We are looking into options now to provide supplies for the schools. As a side note, a poll of 18 Pennsylvania school districts showed that only 2 of them provide supplies to their non-public schools. But we are looking to do that because, as was stated, they are our kids, and we're looking for options now.
But, I'm sorry, that decision was made before we came into this budget impasse. And as Joe knows, I've been working real hard, and unfortunately, none of those legislators are up for election this year. I don't know if anybody's aware of that. Those people that are holding this up, Tom Wolf is elected to take care of our schools. People are holding that aren't even up for election. So that's all you can do. But this decision was made before we knew there was going to be a budget impasse.
Well,
And just because, we always did it so because somebody else does it, doesn't make it right.
well, I'm not clear that it was made before the budget impasse, because that started June 30th. So nobody would have been, right, and nobody thought it would go this long. But let us look into it, and we'll get back with you. Thank you, we will.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Yes. Name, where you live, not street address.
Claire Davis, resident of Lansdowne, and my child now goes to the middle school. And since she started going to the middle school, she's been catching the bus. And so I've become much more aware of issues with the bus than ever before. So what I would like to know is, does the district have a limitation on the number of children that get on at any one stop onto the bus? And if so, do you know how many that is? Because depending on how many children are at one bus stop, it creates a lot of issues in terms of conflicts, and it also creates a lot of issues in terms of children spilling over onto the sidewalks. And I've spoken to somebody who's a bus driver, and he shared with me that in their district, in the districts that he serves, they limit the number of students that's getting on at any one bus stop, and it cuts back on a lot of issues in terms of conflicts, or the neighbors in the neighborhood having to complain about issues that have been occurring because there are so many children congregated at the one bus stop. And I think it would also lessen the issue for the bus driver in getting the children seated in the mornings, because I watch every morning as they get onto the bus, and I see how long it takes to get the kids seated on the bus, which is an issue. Also, how often does the district evaluate the company that you're contracting the work out to for driving the buses? Are the bus drivers well-trained in terms of how they interact with the kids? I'm not gonna, finger point, but issues such as bus drivers slamming on brakes, kids bumping into the seats in front of them, or just other things that I think is inappropriate for the bus drivers. It sounds like they could use some training. There are a couple special needs children that get on the bus. It may take them longer to get seated. The bus driver should be a little bit more sensitive about those kind of things. So what kind of training are they getting in terms of just making sure that, you know, they're conducting themselves properly? And just parent walking up to a door to ask the bus driver a question, sometimes they don't want to respond to those questions. So how do we as parents get our issues addressed when it comes to these issues with the buses?
Great. Thanks for bringing all of that out. You wanna, what's Nick's last name?
Great.
You wanna call Nick Kranek, and you always wanna get a bus number, and then you call Nick and you say, this bus number, this is what happened, and if that doesn't work, then you take the next step.
Okay, just one other thing. I've started that process. I've really been through that process. So really overall, I'm not just talking about the one bus stop. I just want to know, in terms of the school board, do you guys have any say in all of that? And who's going to give me the information? Will Nick give me the information pertaining to the number of students that are allowed to get on the buses?
We don't have, to my knowledge, we do not have a limit of
Okay.
how many students could be at one bus stop.
Okay.
If there is we have limited amounts of bus stops.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's 50 kids getting on at that bus stop, there's gonna be 50 kids there.
Okay, so is that something that the school board can look at in terms of getting some kind of adjustment made to the situation if it's getting out of hand and you keep getting reports of it being an issue? Is it just gonna stay that way? Are the police gonna be called all the time, or what is gonna happen with that?
So are you aware of the police being called?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you see me afterwards and I just get caught up?
Sure.
And then we can see what happens?
Okay.
Yeah? Brian, you can say shit? No, okay.
Madam Chair,
My job is.
Yes,
may I please ask for the urgency for the minute?
could we wait till afterwards? Because I don't want to necessarily identify our family. Okay, we only have so many stops. We'll talk after. Anyone else?
Wait, are you asking for comments, questions, comments?
I can't hear you.
Public comment regarding non-agenda items.
Can I ask about the, since this wasn't online, can I ask about the borrowing?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So, do I have to do this thing? Amy LaCourte, Lansdowne. Do you guys have a figure for what you're potentially going to borrow at this time?
No, we don't.
A time frame? When you need to do it by?
First of the year, first of the year.
First of the year,
Yeah, and so we can only borrow once, right? So we have to magically think how long we think the impasse is gonna take,
okay.
right? So hopefully we'll garner more information, but, so it's gonna be a higher number than we're probably all gonna be comfortable with?
Oh, I
Because,
figured
because
millions.
we can't, we can't borrow twice.
Yeah, and I thought I understood that generally somewhere end of December you would run out and
Yeah.
have to do it.
And-
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay. Yay. Announcements of future meetings. Education meeting, November 5th in this room, 6:30, that's a Thursday. Property, November 9th, 6:30 in this room. Personnel, November 17th in this room, 6:30.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. And then, the next scheduled business meeting is November 23rd, 6:30 pre-session, 7:30 in this room. Anything else? Yeah.
Before you bang that gavel, don't.
Come on, Tony, come on.
I wanna, Brian back there in the far corner from Aramar. This'll be his last meeting.
You could come back. I mean, you could come to meetings.
I wanna, can I please see your face, Brian? Stand the heck up. I wanna thank you for all your endeavors and what you've done in the district. You know my heart and soul goes out to when we call you, any board member. You're always willing to help, be there, solve the problem head on. Your predecessor is where? Back there. Please rise. I'm not gonna try to make a mockery, I just wanna welcome you on board. And hope that you can put up with the board members and different tasks that's gonna come upon you. And Brian, I wanna wish you well in your endeavors and good luck.
I want to
Thank
thank each and
you.
every board member, board members for everything you've done for me, because I think you made me feel more like a family, as part of the family, than just being contractor to you guys. So I thank you very much for that.
Good luck.
Thank you. And next of all, I'm still mad at you.
Please, Billy.
Bang the gavel. Since we're on a sappy note, I wanted to thank, first of all, Jennifer for all your hard work and creativity around this Homecoming and Spirit Week. It was something, Jennifer bleeds red, white, and blue, and it shows. She's everywhere, doing everything. Really, really appreciate it. And I mean, I know you didn't graduate from the district, but you cannot tell. And I really appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody who came out to the homecoming game or sent your wishes. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Since being on the board, that was my mushiest moment. I swear, when it went up, when they went up like 48-14, and just just everybody was cheering, like all on the same accord. It gave me goosebumps. And a lot of you were at the game. Really appreciate everybody's attendance and just really pushing for those kids. And you just seeing the energy from the kids on the field and just in the stands. They really needed that, and they really appreciate it. Though they may not say it, they really appreciate it. So thank you all.
And they really deserved it. You know, they really deserved it too. And thanks to Ralph and Mo for doing all the alumni stuff and still being on this board as alumni. Yes, sir.
Since we're talking about board members, I would like to recognize a former board member who came in tonight, Mr. Frank Hogan.
Frank was more liberal than me. I'm just gonna say that. Frank was more liberal than me, so.
There you go. Anyone else? Any other staff to share? I want to thank, we have a couple of principals here. Stand up. Come on, principals. Five principals. Stand up. Stand up.
I will never forget the posse of principals, and your line coming down the hallway.
The posse of principals coming in.
And teachers that are here, stand up, please.
Teachers?
There you go. You're tired. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice night. All right.